In the stillness of a spring dawn in 1623, a cry pierced the marble walls of Topkapi Palace. It was the voice of a 15-year-old girl, Princess Fatma Sultan, daughter of the most powerful ruler on earth. Her scream echoed through the corridors like a blade. Even the eunuchs at the doors recoiled, too afraid to interfere in a forbidden moment. This was more than family misfortune. It was the hidden price daughters of the sultans were forced to pay. A ritual carved into body and soul, a truth history tried to bury for 6 centuries. Fatma's cries came from no wound of the flesh. They came from a practice that broke the spirit long before it touched the body. For over 600 years, the empire guarded a preparation for marriage so cruel, so refined, that even enemies of the throne would have spared their daughters from it. It was erased from chronicles, buried behind tapestries, and rediscovered only in 2019 through secret archives in Istanbul. Across the world, people envied Ottoman princesses. They imagined silk, jewels, endless service. The reality was a nightmare. Many prayed for death instead of their wedding bed. This is no fairy tale. It is a tale of horror disguised as ceremony. The Ottoman Empire stretched from 1299 to 1922, vast as an ocean. Its armies thundered across 3 continents. After the fall of Constantinople in 1453, Istanbul became the empire's heart. Topkapi Palace shone as its jewel. Inside lived not only kings and warriors, but also women trapped behind veils and walls. The harem was a silent world of more than 800 women. Every step, every breath, watched. In 1530, Suleiman the Magnificent granted his wife Hurrem the title of Hoseki Sultan. From thence, the harem grew into a battlefield of intrigue, alliances, and quiet wars. Concubines, often Christian slaves, entered with dreams of rising. Ironically, they sometimes held more freedom than the Sultan's own daughters. Between 1533 and 1656, women like Kaiksem Sultan and Turhan Hadis Sultan ruled from behind the veil. Yet the true princesses of royal blood were pawns in politics. They were coins to seal treaties, pacify rebellions, or buy loyalty. Princess Fatma, born in 1606 to Sultan Ahmed I and Kaiksem, was brilliant. She studied astronomy, poetry, calligraphy, and languages. Scholars praised her mind. Chroniclers praised her beauty. She dreamed of the stars. But her fate was sealed from birth. Her life was never her own. She was given to Kara Mustafa Pasha, a commander 20 years older. For him, marriage was a ladder to power. For her, it was tragedy. 3 months before the wedding, Fatma entered the feared training known as Terbiye-i-Mubarak, the sacred education. She was led into the bridal chamber, a prison disguised with silken carpets. From dawn to noon, she practiced 18 bows, learned measured steps, and spoke only 43 approved words. Any deviation was punished with fasting or humiliation. Even her mother, Kaiksem, judged her as a pawn of empire. The darkest lessons took place underground. There, in bridal room replicas, Fatma faced rehearsals of her wedding night. Mannequins crafted by Venetian artisans became her teachers. Every tear, every hesitation, was recorded. The girl who dreamed of the stars was broken into silence. A week before the wedding, she was locked in the pavilion of the bride. Food, baths, even her thoughts were controlled. Oils, herbs, and mirrors reshaped her body and mind. She began to understand. She no longer belonged to herself. On March 15, 1623, the day arrived. Istanbul rejoiced in processions and feasts. For the people, it was paradise. For Fatma, it was the prelude to her sentence. The nuptial pavilion had 3 levels: purification, surrender, and consummation. Each step stripped her of dignity. Baths with opium oils dulled her will. Her bridal gown became a cage. Her husband was taught how to dominate. Finally, she was led into the chamber of consummation, its walls covered with scenes of conquest. That night, Fatma collapsed. Her body trembled, her eyes emptied. She entered a state doctors called Sakma, the soul fleeing to survive. When consummation finally took place, it left her with bleeding, fainting, and a broken spirit. From that day, she changed. She barely spoke. She refused food. She wept for hours. The presence of men sent her into terror. Palace doctors called it virginal melancholy. Today we know it as trauma. The girl who once debated scholars vanished. She became a shadow, obedient yet hollow. Her marriage continued as duty. She bore children, attended ceremonies, but lived in silence. Kara Mustafa sought refuge in war and opium. Fatma lived 29 more years in this state, until her death in 1652 at age 46, on the anniversary of her wedding. Her tragedy was not unique. Records reveal many princesses suffered the same fate. Some lost their voices, some went mad, some faked death to escape. A few even petitioned for divorce, showing courage against the system. Fatma's story reveals a bitter truth. Absolute power can devour its own children. Behind silk and jewels lay chains. The harem, in Legend of Paradise, was often a prison of silence and tears. The scream that echoed through Topkapi in 1623 was one among many. It reminds us that behind every crowned stand lives sacrifice for politics. How many more voices lie buried in forgotten archives, waiting to be heard? If this story has unsettled you, share it. Tell us whose fate you want revealed next. Only by uncovering these hidden truths can we finally hear the voices history tried to erase.